What? Hello everybody, happy Saturday, I'm Alaska, and today we're going to be doing a review of Gerard Way's debut solo album, Hesitant Alien. Gerard Way, of course, is the ex-vocalist of My Chemical Romance, a group which put out some of the most experimental rock music in mainstream radio. My personal favorite albums being Danger Days and The Black Parade. Since their split in 2013, this is the second solo album to come from a former member of the group, the first of which being Frank Iroh's Stomach Aches. When this album was first announced, it was described by many people as American Britpop, which I was kind of hesitant about. I didn't really want to listen to it because I thought that it would ruin my image of the past music, which I love so much. But finally, I gave it a chance, and I realized this is just more of what I loved previously about My Chemical Romance, especially on Danger Days. The guitar tracks are distorted and heavy and almost dissonant in some parts, especially on tracks like No Shows and Get the Gang Together. The drums are tight, simplistic, and hard-hitting. They explode their way into the album with the bureau, and they pull the other instruments together throughout the rest of the record. The bass is played so smoothly on this record, but the tone is so distorted that it sets a mood for the album, and it distinguishes itself from the rest of the instruments. The vocals aren't really what you would expect from a Gerard Way solo album. Through most of My Chemical Romance's discography, Gerard Way solos were double-tracked, which gave them the very distinct tone that they had on some of their greatest hits, like Helena, Welcome to the Black Parade, and Planetary. But throughout most of this record, Gerard Way's vocals are very understated, most of the time only being one track. The opening of the bureau is very heavy. Most of the vocals are either shouted or whispered, and the rest of the band kind of provides a weird, unsettling chorus to Gerard's vocals, which makes it more urgent to the paranoia lyrics of Big Business that the song has than if Gerard had just been singing them himself. The A-side of the actual physical vinyl contains most of the record's singles, with The Brother and Bureau being the only songs that weren't previously released through a music video or a demo. That being said, the first half of the record is absolutely stellar. If the first half of this record were its own EP, I would probably name it the best album of last year. It has a steady build starting with The Bureau and then a sudden drop at the start of 00. The opening and closing songs of the A-side are so messy and downtrodden that they compare so well with the second category of songs on this record, like Action Cat and Millions and Maya the Psychic, that are so hyper-pop. It's such a great contrast. And then you have the third category of songs on this record, which is the very sappy love song type songs, like Brother and Drugstore Perfume. I think that the major fault of this record is tracks 8 through 10. Drugstore Perfume is pretty much a carbon copy of what we had already heard previously on the record with Brother. Get the Gang Together just kind of sounds generic. It's trying to pace out the pace and downtrodden feel of 00 with the hyperpop sound of Millions, and we had already gotten a song that does that with Juarez, and it just doesn't work. And how it's going to be, while refreshing, and actually kind of sounds like a Neutral Milk Hotel song, just doesn't sound like it's supposed to be there on the album. It feels like filler, whereas if it were put previously on the record, it would feel more appropriate for it to be there. The lyrics are pretty much what you would expect from a Gerard Way record. You can kinda get a good idea on what he's saying, but you never get a firm grasp on what he's really talking about. Some of the songs are very easy to decipher. Brother is obviously about his little brother Mikey Way. Juarez is about teenage anarchism and a love of punk rock. He even throws a Greg Ginn reference in there. And No Shows is about being in a young band where you don't really know what you're doing, but you know you have a really good image. Other songs on this, which I love, like 00, Action Cat, and Millions, I have absolutely no idea what he's talking about, but they are catchy as hell. Overall, this is a great first release. I give it 3.5 television bodies out of 5. If you listen to this record, tell me what you thought of it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the video, and I will see you tomorrow. The A-side of the physical. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Cool. Through most of My Chemical Romance's discography, Gerard Way through most of, the first half of the actual physical record contains most of the The A side of the actual physical record contains most of its singles with... Why can't I say this sentence? This is like the 5th time I've tried to say this. Gerard Way of...